Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Transformers fans everywhere, welcome back. LPS, Last Prime Speculator, here to bring you something a little different. I'm going to go a little bit of a Nemesis rant. I normally don't do this, but this is something that's been bothering me, something I want to get off my chest, something that you guys were expressing in my comments in my last movie review, my spoiler review. We're going to be focusing on Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's the producer of the Transformers live action universe franchise, and I'm going to vent and go a little bit Nemesis. This gentleman has really been annoying me, and it's been building up for 10 years. And I'm to the point I'm convinced that he is the problem with Transformers. So what we're going to do, we're going to read this article from comicbook.com. It was an interview with Lorenzo, and then I'm also going to provide you with other details and everything that I believe that he is purposely or, maybe hopefully not in delivery trying to kill the Transformers live action universe, because at the end, I hope you guys agree with me, this dude's got to go. I'll make sure to leave the link of the article down below for you guys so you guys can check it out for yourself. But it says, Bumblebee producers says they're trying to figure out an Optimus Prime solo movie. Bumblebee gave a much smaller scale look into the Transformers franchise, but it looks like the same formula might not be applied to another iconic character. In a recent interview with Metro US, producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura was asked about the rumblings about a potential Optimus Prime movie spin-off, as he had expressed in previous interviews that there's a chance that the movie could happen, once they figure out exactly how it would work. Quote, "We actually have an animated movie in the works that will tell the whole Cybertron mythology that the fans will love," Bonaventura teased. I'm going to stop you right there. We want a Cybertron movie, yes. But the problem is with the animated thing, the animated idea, I don't trust them to do it correctly. I know it's a copycat league, and I know Spider-Verse did very, very well. But here's the thing. I can speak, and I believe from the comments that I've seen, and what I see on Twitter, and what I see on social media, Facebook, Instagram, that is not what the fans want. The fans want what we saw in the beginning of the Bumblebee movie, where we saw the Battle of Cybertron take place. That is what we've been wanting. The Transformers animated movie, I would love to see down the road. We've kind of already seen it with the first Transformers movie. Yes, I get they're going back to the G1 route, and I can't explain for everybody, but I'd say about 80% of the people want that live-action CGI look that we saw in the Bumblebee movie. And then bring it to us. I mean, if we want it, we can watch. There's so many. You can watch Transformers animated. You can watch Transformers Prime. You can watch the original Transformers movie. The list goes on. We've been down this animated route numerous times. We want the live action universe CGI that we're getting there. Doesn't look like we're gonna get it. Looks like we're getting an animated one. Kind of cool, but in my opinion, not what the fans want. Again, this gentleman is not in tune with his audience and his fans. We'll continue. We're trying to figure out an Optimus Prime solo movie. Quote, "It will be hard with Optimus. He's always right. Very stoic and a man of few words. It's kind of like saying, let's do a movie about Obi-Wan Kenobi," Bonaventura continued. "But how much is there to say about Obi-Wan? It's not easy." Again, I'm going to stop you right there. We just got a movie in the live-action universe of a Transformer that physically can't talk. He can't talk. He speaks through the radio. That itself shows, again, how in tune he is with the audience. You're telling me that the most iconic character in the Transformers universe, Optimus Prime, you don't have any ideas that you could do with him. He is Transformers. There is so mythology and lore about this one particular character. You're telling me that, and you're comparing it to Obi-Wan Kenobi, which last time I checked before Disney pulled the plug on it, they were going to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi solo movie until the rumblings took place with Star Wars and all that good stuff. I mean, that's a whole other discussion, a whole other video. But you're telling me there's nothing you could go under? There is so much lore about this particular character. You type in Optimus Prime TF Wiki, you're going to get pages upon pages upon pages of lore. And you don't have to use, that's your job. Your job is to write that stuff. Your job is to use ideas and make your own thing. And don't be complaining there's nothing there, dude. There is so much with Optimus Prime. I think that's absolutely pathetic. I think that's a worse excuse. I don't think this guy wants to do an Optimus Prime movie, and I'll tell you at the very end of this video why I believe that. Let's move on. Any shades towards the potential Obi-Wan spin-off aside, it sounds like Di Bonaventura has an interest in making an Optimus Prime-centric story in another way or another. We hope so, Di Bonaventura explains, either this month. Optimus Prime is a tricky one, because he's so wise, smart, and has to decide how he can create an emotional story. Again, he's so wise and so smart. Optimus Prime questions his leadership more than anything. He's the most humanoid out of all the Transformers. He feels guilt. He feels sorrow. He feels pain. Any outcome where his Autobots and allies and friends don't work out, he takes it so hard on his spark. Everything he does is so heavily on his spark. Optimus Prime not only is looked at to the Autobots and, you know, all the other allies involving the Autobots as the ultimate heroic leader, but at the end of the day, he still questions himself too. He still questions his own leadership. He uses his following and his popularity to gain followers to destroy the common good. At the end of the day, Optimus never thinks he can possibly do it, but everyone believes in him, and he has to keep that motivation and keep that passion and keep that knowledge and keep that wisdom because they believe in him. Because they believe in him. Because he is the prophesized 13th. He didn't ask for this. He did not ask for this. He was chosen by the Matrix to be the leader of the Autobots, to provide the light in the darkest hour. You've got so many material to work with, man. If you really need ideas, I'm like I said, I tell myself I'm the lost generation of Transformers. I'm a huge comic book nerd. Use ideas from the IDW comics. They have literally been going on for 13 years. They literally, in their new Optimus Prime series, took the ideas that Transformers The Last Knight did not use and took their ideas with the talisman and they ran away with it. And it's been absolutely phenomenal. And I got to catch up with that. I'm sorry I've been behind on that, guys. But you get what I'm saying. That literally these ideas are here, presented to these producers and these movie people, and they're throwing it aside. And what is everybody else doing? Grabbing it and benefiting from it. And it's always the stuff we want to see as fans. How can you not make an emotional story about Optimus Prime? You know what? Let me direct it. I'd be happy to do it. Sorry, this really makes me mad. We'll move on. Bumblebee sees the Autobots crashing on Earth in the 1980s while escaping the war on Cybertron, befriending a teenage girl named Charlie. While the first film is entirely reconnecting the canon of the previous Transformers movies, it's mixing things up in one way or another. Quote, "Reboot, I've always hated the word because of one. I'm not sure I really understand what it means," Bonaventura said in a previous interview. "We are going to do another big Transformers movie. It's going to be different than the ones we've done before. Quote, it's not like we look at the elements of what we did before and go, well, let's not do this or let's not do that," Bonaventura explained. "It's more about how you do to evolve the experience for the fans. Let the fans have a new experience. When we did the first movie, at first was a lot of pushback, and they were doing it in a lot of good ways that they've done before," he added. "My feeling was always that if we've done it, we'd be gone. Well, I've already seen it. So how do you evolve things forward is, I think, the hardest thing, because you've got to retain why people love it. But at the end of the same time, if you give them the same experience, they're going to be bored with it." Again, I disagree on that too. I disagree. You can use ideas and, you know, redo it. I know that I can speak out for the G1 fans. The G1 fans have been begging for a callback to G1 forever, and it took you over 10 years to do that. That would be something that I would have to say that people retain and would love, and that people have wanted, and if they've done it, it won't work. Well, you've done it, and that's what they wanted, and the Bumblebee movie, again, has a 94% Rotten Tomatoes score. So the way you were doing it before was incorrect. So it looks like the people want you to do what they've seen and put your own touch on it, not completely explode it and change it. That's what I'm getting out of the fans' reaction. Again, let's move on. Quote, "I think we've learned a lot in this movie about the tone I would like to think for the next big Transformers movie is going to have." Bonaventura added, "It's not like we're going to copy it, but we've learned something. There's more freedom than the original thought in terms of what we can do. Do you want to see an Optimus Prime movie spin-off? Share your thoughts with us in the comments down below." And that is the article from comicbookmovie.com. I will leave it in the link. Now, we're going to reflect all this, okay? We're basically just going to start from everything, okay? This man is so out of tune with his audience and his fans. This sounds like what Lorenzo wants, not what the fans want, in my opinion. This man just gave a bunch of excuses why he doesn't want to do an Optimus Prime movie. And I just gave you my rant. In my opinion, I think it's BS. I think Optimus Prime deserves his own movie. I think Peter Cullen deserves his own movie. I think Peter Cullen wants his own Origins movie. The fans, I know, want their own Origins movie. This man does not. And you know how I know this man does not? I know you guys have had a couple of comments. I know David Hinkle, you said something. Optimus Prime, you brought it up. YouTube Convoy, I know you brought it up too, to my attention as well. That this man did not want to cast Optimus Prime in the first Transformers movie of 2007. He did not want anybody from G1 in this movie. I take it like this, man. Why wouldn't you want anybody from G1? Why? You want me to tell you why I think why? I think it's because he doesn't know his own product. And the G1 nerds and fans know more about this stuff than any people on the planet. They know the product, they know what to expect, and they have an idea what they want. And it turns out they were right the whole time, because look at the results again for the Bumblebee movie. I remember when he was casted, he did not want Peter Cullen as the voice of Optimus Prime. Why? The most iconic voice probably in all of pop culture is Peter Cullen as the voice of Optimus Prime. There could be some arguments on some other ones, but I'm biased. I'm going to say it's Peter Cullen. Peter Cullen has been voicing this character since what, 1984? 1984. And you did not want him to be the voice of Optimus Prime. The voice of freedom. Again, Lorenzo. You would have failed again. Optimus Prime has literally carried these movies. And people are pissed the way that he's been treated in this. Michael Bay, and I'm going to defend Michael Bay on this, because Michael Bay takes the most heat for this. Michael Bay's the one who wanted Peter Cullen as the voice of Optimus Prime. And Lorenzo fought and fought and fought. He did not want it, again, because I don't think he wanted those G1 fans to come. He wanted to target new fans. I'm sorry, dude. Isn't the goal to make money? Wouldn't you want the G1 fans to bring their children and then also target new fans? It's Transformers. There's so many eras of Transformers. You got Transformers G1, you got Transformers Prime, you got Transformers Armada, you got Beast Wars, you got the Prime Wars trilogy. The point is that there's Transformers has so many fans, and for some reason the Transformer fans have all fought each other instead of uniting together. Which universe is better? Which universe is better? At the end of the day, we all want movies. And instead of working together, we're fighting each other. Again, the problem lies in front. That's exactly what somebody in power wanted to do. Now, I can't recall if I saw this in an article, if I saw it in a video. It's been a long time. Like I said, I would search it, but I won't even post it up anyway because I don't have copyright stuff. But I do recall Lorenzo having a conversation, I want to say it was a video, about Dark of the Moon, when Sentinel Prime killed Iron Knight. And he talked about how brutal the death of Jazz was in that movie. Yes, he called Iron Knight Jazz. Jazz died in the first Transformers movie on the hands of Megatron. Again, not knowing your product. Jazz is one of the most iconic characters in all of Transformers, and the fans would love to see him back. I'd love to see his own movie, personally. I love Jazz. He refuses to call this a reboot. He refuses. He refuses to use the word reboot. And again, that's terrible leadership. You got to think of all the great movies that have had a reboot. Start off with Spider-Man, for instance. Spider-Man has rebooted more than I could even count on my hands and toes. They have rebooted that franchise so much. X-Men has also rebooted a couple of times. And now, let's not forget Batman. Batman. These are pop culture superhero characters and teams that have rebooted. It's okay to reboot. It's okay, especially when you say you care about your fans who have been begging for a reboot, been wanting a reboot, almost want to not be connected to the Bayverse whatsoever. This movie almost felt like a reboot, and you're still not calling it a reboot just because you don't want to call it a reboot. I get what they're trying. I think I understand what he's trying to do a little bit, and he's trying to take care of the Bayformers fans. But I can assure you, these Bayformer fans that actually saw this movie are like, wow, this might be a good route. And they're okay with it. You can still acknowledge and respect your creator of Michael Bay and still call it a reboot. It's what the franchise needs. But he doesn't want to do that. Why? I don't know. Because if people hear the word reboot, it means you failed. And I'm sorry, you have failed, dude. Lorenzo, you have failed. These movies have failed. This is the first success movie, other than maybe the first one. And, I mean, I'll give you my... I'm going to plan on doing a top 6 Transformers movie. I'll give you my breakdown. But I'm a fan of this franchise because I'm a nerd and I enjoy this stuff. But this goal was to get different new fans. If that's what you're trying to target, you're not doing a good job, dude. Because people want a reboot. People don't want Michael Bay involved. And I think Michael Bay has taken the most heat for this and hasn't deserved it. I want to talk also about the last night. there's something about this movie that didn't feel Bayish. You know, it didn't feel Bayish. The way the trailers were marketed in it, the way that we saw those clips and everything, and then we got the final product. A lot of that movie, we all know, got cut out. They refused to admit, Paramount refuses to admit that anything was cut out in this movie. But you could tell watching that movie how choppy it was and how the shots go from shot to shot. And like there's times where Prime's talking and then you hear like another verse and then it goes back to him, and same with Quintessa. This is supposed to be an Optimus Prime and Megatron's Origins movie. You marketed that, and from what I hear, they cut the original thing that I saw before it got cut out was like 3 hours and 29 minutes. And of course the fans started rumbling just because we're used to seeing, you know, all these long movies, and they didn't want to hear that. And then they said, no, this is actually the correct time. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes or whatever, the shortest Transformers movie. But it looks like they cut out all the Transformers scenes, particularly the Optimus Prime and Megatron Origins, which we've all been waiting for. And they still refuse to deny it. That movie did not feel like Michael Bay. It did not feel like Bayish. It felt, I don't know what it was, but it definitely wasn't Michael Bay. It felt different. It felt like somebody got their hands on it and cut it in half. It felt like it was really directed and chopped up and edited by a 5-year-old. And I'll do, like I said, I'll do a top 6. I'm planning on doing a lot more videos. I hope I'm showing you guys with the content I've been pulling out lately. But this Lorenzo guy, I think, was the man who pulled the plug. And obviously Michael Bay can't say anything, because Michael Bay, let's be honest there, Michael Bay's there to make money. He's there to make money. He is not a fan of this. But he did 5 movies. He did 5 movies. And I'm going to give you credit, Michael Bay. Shout out to you. Because I don't think this was all you. I think you were a victim of a person who's in charge of all this that does not know their own product. Look at Marvel, for instance. Kevin Feige. Look at this right here. Avengers right here. See it? See it right here? We're about to hit 10 years. We are about to hit the end game. 10 years, 21 movies, 22 if you want to count Captain Marvel coming out. Of a man who loves his product, who cherishes it, who knows the characters, who listens to his fans. That's why this stuff is so successful. Not because of what he wants, it's because he listens to his fans. He takes chances on these other directors. He tells stories. And somebody who does not know their product cannot be in power of something so beloved. And that is my opinion. I'm not asking for this man to get fired, because I never want anybody to lose their job. I really don't. But something's got to change. Particularly him. I doubt you'll ever see this just because I'm a small little channel and everything. But this is pathetic. How are you in charge of something that's worth $1 billion franchise and you know nothing about your product? And you bring in a great director like Michael Bay and basically let him take all the heat. And the man does not know Transformers. But the man did some good stuff in this franchise, guys. I think we can agree. There are moments where, without Michael Bay, I don't have a channel. You know, I love Transformers. I read the comic books. I collect toys. You know, but without Michael Bay, there's no Transformers. If you search anything, let's say you do a search of Bumblebee, most of the time you're going to get a Bayverse Bumblebee show up on your screen if you're looking for a Bumblebee picture, not a G1. So and I think Michael Bay has been a victim of bad management. And I remember a quote that Steven Spielberg said that Michael Bay was born to direct Transformers, and I agree to the most part. But he needed guidance, and he did what he could. And I don't think it was all. I think it was all him. I think he's part of the blame for a little bit because he's stubborn. But I don't think Michael Bay is completely part of the blame, guys. What I'm saying is Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. I hope you're saying the name correctly. Enough's enough. I've had it. Either change or get out, dude. Get out, because this is pathetic, dude. This is pathetic. Or, you know what, if you really want to do, just keep your hands on, listen to your fans. Treat your fans with respect. Treat your G1 fans with respect. Put somebody next to you that knows this lore, because you clearly don't, dude. You clearly don't know what the fans want. It sounds like it's what Lorenzo wants, not what the fans want. If you're new to the channel, make sure to consider subscribing and turn on all notifications. Don't forget to like and share this video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Prime Speculator. All the links are located below. To my subscribers, love you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant video. This is LPS here to bring you another episode. Peace.